Welcome to another episode of the Fireside Storyteller. You know, when I was in my first year of college, I learned to skateboard. Yep, and that's not necessarily a good place to learn that, just so you know. But after a few weeks, I thought I was getting pretty good. Okay, that wasn't very smart either, but one night, yes, that's another reason why it wasn't very smart. I just stayed up way too late too many nights. Anyway, one night we were on a hill and my friend warned me that I might not do very well on this hill. But I knew I was cornering very well, and well, maybe I'll finish that story another time, but right now I'm going to say that hill taught me something about respect and humility that day, along with giving me some fairly impressive scrapes and bruises. You know, this actually reminds me of an old tale from a wise Cheyenne people, Native Americans, about another overconfident character who thought he knew better than anyone else. In the time when animals spoke with humans, and the mountains were young and still stretching toward the sky, there lived a coyote who thought himself cleverer than other beings. His tail was always held high, his nose always in the air, and his mouth was always ready for a boast or a clever word. One hot summer day, when the sun blazed like copper day in the sky, Coyote was trotting along an ancient path through the red rocks, looking for someone to impress with his wisdom. As he rounded the bend, he came upon a massive boulder, a huge stone, round and smooth, sitting quietly on the top of the hill. The boulder was old, older than the oldest stories. It had watched the countless seasons pass, yet the touch of countless rains, and held the wisdom of countless years in its stone heart. But of course, Coyote being Coyote, saw only an opportunity to prove his cleverness. "Well, well," said Coyote, circling the great rock with a swagger in his step. "What have we here? Just a simple rock, sleeping away the day. How boring it must be, never moving, never doing anything exciting." The rock said nothing, as rocks often do. "You know," continued Coyote, his voice dripping with false sympathy, "I could help you have an adventure. Yes, yes. With my superior wisdom, I could show you how to dance down this hill. Wouldn't that be something?" The rock spoke then, its voice deep and slow like thunder rolling across the distant mountains. "Brother Coyote, I have sat here since the first people walked these lands. I am content. The wind and rain are my companions, and wisdom comes from knowing one's place in the world." But Coyote threw his head and he laughed. "Wisdom? What wisdom is there in sitting still? No, no, let me show you what real living is like." And before the rock could speak again, Coyote began to dig away the earth that held the boulder in place. And as he dug, 3 ravens landed in a nearby juniper. "Brother Coyote," called the eldest raven, "leave the rock in place. Some things are not meant to be disturbed." "Quiet, you black-feathered fool," Coyote snapped. "Watch and learn from one wiser than yourself." The second raven spoke. "Brother Coyote, that rock has sat there since the Great Spirit shaped these lands. It is not for us to move what Great Spirit has placed." But Coyote only dug faster, his paws flinging dirt into the air. "You're all just jealous of my clever plan." The youngest raven made one last attempt. "Brother Coyote, pride goeth before the fall." Coyote stood up tall and proud. "Fall? Ha! I never fall. I am far too clever for that. Now watch this." With a final push, the Coyote dislodged the great rock. For a moment, it teetered on the edge, and in that moment, the rock spoke one last time. "Brother Coyote, You were warned. The boulder began to roll, slowly at first, and faster and faster, and Coyote pranced along beside it, singing a song of his own cleverness. See how I've taught the rock to dance? Who else could be so wise, so skilled, so... But Coyote was so busy boasting that he didn't notice the rock starting to veer toward him. By the time he saw his danger, it was too late. The boulder caught him in its path, and he rolled right over Coyote again and again as they tumbled down the hill together. When at last they reached the bottom, the rock came to rest in a new spot, as content there as it had been before. And poor Coyote, he lay flat as a juniper bark, every bone in his body aching, his proud tail now drooping, his clever tongue silent for once. The 3 ravens glided down from the tree and looked at him. "Brother Coyote," said the eldest, "perhaps now that you understand that wisdom includes knowing when to leave things as they are." Coyote could only groan in response, for even his quick tongue had been humbled by the rolling rock. And so it is told that even today, if you walk among the red rocks and see a boulder sitting peacefully on a hill, it's best to leave it be. For not all things need to dance, and true wisdom often lies in knowing when to stay still. You know, just like my skateboarding adventure, Coyote learned that sometimes the hard way is the only way to learn a lesson about pride. It's funny how both of us thought we knew better than everyone else. Me ignoring my friend's warning about the hill, and Coyote ignoring the ravens and the rock itself. If you enjoyed this short story, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. I'd love to hear about times when you learned a lesson about pride or being too overconfident. Share your stories in the comments below. And let me know if you'd like to hear my full story about my skateboarding adventure on a hill, in the dark, on an empty street, with a sharp curve. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. But remember to keep them thoughtful and helpful. When you have been like Coyote, thinking you knew better than everyone else, what did you learn from that experience? That's the important thing. Until next time, keep your heart humble and those minds open. See you by the fireplace next week.